Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today the weather is lovely and I decided to record this little review outside. We are sponsored today by a company called Wurkkos, creators of this amazing, very compact, you will see it in a second, flashlight. This flashlight has everything great about it except for one rather profound, rather prolific feature that is not great unless you just choose to ignore it. I simply choose to ignore it. So this is a quick preview. Please hang around. I will tell you everything you need to know about this otherwise wonderful, wonderful flashlight. So let's start with unboxing. I always say that boxing, how the product is presented to you, matters. Some people say, who cares, Dimitri, you just open it and you throw away the box. Yes, you do. However, it shows care, and packaging shows to you whether or not company has enough of a presence to create the full experience for you, rather than just give you a device itself, if it makes any sense. It gives you a sense of being supported by the ecosystem, by after-sales support, by other kind of things. And you can see this nice little flap opening here, and you pull it out like this very, very nicely, straight away with some basic instructions coming up straight away for you. So I think it's very, very usable. It's very, very usable. And this is the most important part. So we will talk a little bit about the further instructions, but this tells you the basic modes of operation that I'm going to tell you about today. And that's, you can get by with this. That's what I want to start this review with. We have a little bit of the name of the brand over here, and the device itself. The device itself is packaged very nicely, and it is tiny. Take a look at this. I have this Rode microphone over here, and this thing is almost comparable in size to it. Take a look at this. It's almost comparable. It's tiny. It is really, really tiny. LED lights here on the perimeter, central light over here, USB-C charging port over here. Very, very tight clip. There is no chance of it unclipping. It's really, really strong, like it really spring-loaded. Control button, the main control button is on this side, and the switch of the modes, one of the two spotlight or floodlight modes on this side as well. There is nothing really else. A little tiny mention of Wurkkos as a brand over here. That's it, certification, that's it, done. There is a charging cable, USB-C to USB-C. That is one little problem, because there is no adapter of USB-A to USB-C. So if you are planning to charge it off some kind of power adapter that has a USB-A output, you will not be able to make use of this particular cable. I don't know what they were thinking. I think USB-A to USB-C would have been a lot more usable and a lot more mainstream kind of these days. That's the most adapters, but they for some reason went with USB-C for USB-C. That's one little negative that I probably want to get out of the way as soon as possible, yeah? Before we focus on other aspects of it. There is a little lanyard. I don't know how useful these lanyards are. It seems like a high quality little thing with a metal ring on it and a little bit of a woven cord. It's quite small. This device is quite small. You will see it in a second, which I think makes the lanyard theoretically usable. On bigger, bulkier ones, I don't think it really is, but here it might be. Now, the device itself, look how tiny it is. That is its benefit, and that's what I said to you. There is this little spring-loaded, very powerful clip that is really, really strong. It's not going to fall off. You can just clip it on, enable one of those numerous modes that I'm about to tell you about, of lighting modes, and you can just run around. It could work in a strobing effect mode, where it's just basically constantly strobing like this, making you visible, similar to what cyclists do. Yeah, you can use it for that kind of purpose. Or it could have one of the classic flashlight kind of modes, where there is a mode little switch over here, as you can see, and one of them is a spotlight and another one is a floodlight. In my little limited test so far, and they were admittedly a bit limited because it's first impressions review, I didn't see massive difference between the both modes, spotlight and floodlight. It's not like one is a projector beam and another one really floods the space. They're both somewhat similar. There is a tiny marginal difference, I would dare say, but overall it's kind of similar. Still, high quality product, metal casing, very, very strong clip, USB-C charging port at the very top, main operational button, a single button over here, nothing, no other buttons, and just this switch that I already showed to you. Turn it on with a single press, then it turns on in a certain light, like in the default mode. You can see it's actually sufficient amount of light, believe it or not. It doesn't seem like much here in the daylight when I'm telling you about this, but if you're looking at it in a completely dark room, I was recording it in a spare room of the house, it's enough. It's enough to kind of see around without maybe waking everyone else. If you're trying to, like, I don't know, find your cat in the middle of the night who woke you up and you're trying to give it food or whatever, happens to me all the time. This light is probably enough. However, if it's not enough, if you would like to light up the place a lot more, you double click on it. You double click on it like this, and even in the daylight you can see how much this light has changed. And in the dark room you can see it lights up everything. It's crazy exciting and crazy powerful for such a small device. Maybe I'm just not spoiled for these devices. That's why I think it's so amazing for such a small form factor. I have reviewed another flashlight not that long ago, and I was very complimentary of it, quite genuinely, but it was also double the size or triple the size, and this thing is really truly tiny. Okay, you press it again once, it cycles down to the lower light, as you can see. You press it again and it's off. So that is the most basic mode of operation that you need to know about. One press, it's on. Double press, it's really high beam, so to speak. Another press cycles down, and another little touch stops it. Where is the problem, in my humble opinion, my friends? And I would be doing a disservice to my crowd as well as the brands if I wasn't honest in this particular case. The problem is in how overcomplicated the user manual is. So if you go beyond this basic operation, and if you take a look at this thick manual over here, take a look at what it turns into. Yes, it's multilingual, but still, come on, take a look. That's just how much instruction there is. That's how much instruction. And if you zoom in, I will not even bother you reading to you and wasting your time reading through all of these patterns of presses. Can you see? Single press, double press, triple press. There are basically, I will just give you an overview. An overview is combination of those presses, multiple presses, press patterns, as well as positioning of this flood versus spotlight switch. Changes exactly what you get from this. It has a strobing light mode where it blinks like this. It has persistent light of a different color. It can be red, it can be something else, if for some reason you're trying to create a beacon of a certain color, for any reason whatsoever. And then there are more classic modes of operation, like I've just shown you. Just a normal kind of low light, higher light, floodlight, not floodlight, and stuff like that. Take a look at this diagram, my friends. For an average user, it is a confusing problem. This is a scary thing for a normal user. And absolutely, I would agree with you if you said to me, Dimitri, but an average user would never use these modes. And that's what I'm going to do. AKA, I'm never going to use all these extras. But I have to acknowledge that they've overcomplicated functionality of this thing. It's great that they gave it to you for free. If you want to study and get a PhD in the process of studying this, you can. And you get all these extras for free. However, they're confusing, man. They're confusing. You have to triple press in case you locked it or in case you want to lock it. I can't even remember exactly what it does right now. Metal casing, super solid, very strong light in its basic mode. But would I ever touch those extra modes of triple presses, where whatever it is? No, no. And I would recommend highly against it. However, if you want just a basic light in the basic mode of operation, if they kept it to these two modes, spotlight, floodlight, low light, highlight, that's it. That's already 4 different modes. That would have been plenty, super justifying the purpose, price, and all of that. Would I recommend it? Yes, 100%. To both people who want to ignore all of that stuff that I just said in terms of all these complications, and to you it's not a problem because it can be ignored. Cool, no problem, I'll do the same. And to those people who want a PhD in reading manuals like this and mastering this wonderful little product and just basically trying to figure out how it works, and hopefully it does work for you. I know my wife is not going to do it. But I'm also worried about my wife because she hates complications. If she just presses this thing one extra time and it does the wrong thing, she's going to be like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. That is a problem. Okay? I hope I made myself very clear. On a balance of things, if I had to rate this, I would give it probably a 7 out of 10 rating, simply because of how impressive it is in terms of how much power they packed into this really small package. Other than that, yeah, I'm taking 3 points off for pure complications. Thank you, Wurkkos, for sponsoring this video. Check out the links in the description and the pinned comment.